Never let it get down to the nub. Never, ever, ever, because that's when it goes kaboom. And never a good movie does it ever get down to zero. Nice. And we're going to have a good movie tonight, aren't we?
Oh, man. Welcome.
Playing the part of Hawes is Hawes from Hawes Hoddles to our right. And to his left is Ryan from the HiRye channel. And below Ryan is Neil the
coin chaser.
And then there's Ken.
Welcome, everybody.
Hey, guys, what's going on?
Crypto night in Canada. Dun, 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 dun.
What do you say? What do you know? Will lightning strike tonight? I think so.
Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez.
It is pretty rainy out right now. I hear thunder at least. Yeah, so.
Yeah, no, it's really
He's not
raining.
wrong. He's talking about the Tampa Bay Lightnings maybe taking the cup.
I see.
Good to have you back, Hawes. Good to have you back. I've missed you, my friend. I've missed you. God, I need someone in the house to back me up.
Well, let's just quickly take a minute and say hi to everybody in the chat. I saw Gary. He was here nice and early with his coffee. With his coffee. And look, Len's in the house. Hey, Len. Jason Spooner and Jay Youngman's in the house. Hi, Ian. Natural Canadians here. Moonbright, Kim Carroll, Jenster 23. Hey, everybody. Journey's in the house. Yay. I hope Candace makes it. I know she had her second vaccine today and wasn't feeling very wonderful. So, is she?
Yeah.
Did you see her?
At the very top. Yeah.
Oh, at the very top.
Where?
Like one of the first comments.
Oh, there's
Candace.
There you go.
Oh, nice.
There you go.
Hi, everybody. Richard's here. Sanath, Ian, everybody. Cash rules. I love that name. Anyway, so Hawes, you're back from vacation.
Yeah. It's finally good to be back home. And there's nothing like sleeping in your own bed. So came back to a bit of a dip. That dip happened at the worst time because obviously I was on the road. I was watching it the whole time. I'm like, oh man, like this is what a time to go. But like when I planned the trip, I was like, oh, like I don't know if like crypto's gonna pump so hard that I'm gonna be away and can't sell. But like the complete opposite has happened. I didn't have to worry about that at all. So it was good for me because I'm a hodler. So I just ignored the price and just kept on going.
That's good. And Neil, welcome. I know you were off last week. It was Canada Day. It was I wasn't sure who we were going to get last week, but did you have a fun Canada Day?
Yeah, I actually got to see my family. Well, my brother and sister and nephew and nieces since November, so that's pretty awesome. We were on the water. Excellent. Yeah, it was a good week. The weather was pretty good too, so just getting away was nice.
Where did you go?
We were in Haliburton, Ontario.
Yeah.
So just a small lake. My brother and I went fishing a bunch. We didn't catch much, but it was just nice to be out there.
Not even a buzz?
We definitely caught that, and a few rock bass, but that's about it.
There you go. Well, there you go. Fresh caught of the day, eh? Caught.
Yeah.
The restrictions are lifting because we had a communication come down from one of the people I contract for, so we no longer have to wear the face shields in the car. So
you don't?
Nope. It came down. So things are looking good.
Nice.
We went to our first concert last week. Yeah. We were very excited.
What if someone's watching that shouldn't be doing that with where I work?
We didn't go to a concert last week.
What did you see?
Fellas, hide and seek. Yeah.
What we didn't see, what we saw was actually a beautiful outdoor venue, and it's an apple orchard, an apple farm outside of Milton, Ontario, probably considered in Milton, and they did a beautiful outdoor stage, and we saw a band called the Fiddlesticks. They were fantastic. Honestly, I was grinning ear to ear. It was so nice to be out of the house, out of the yard, and listening to live music. It felt wonderful. I was so happy. And so I highly recommend this place. And the band was fun. They played contemporary music, but they had fiddles to it. So you liked it. You were skeptical, but you liked them.
Was I there?
You were there.
Doesn't fall far from the tree, folks, at an apple farm.
Now
Anyways,
the
lighten
weirdest
them up
thing
tonight,
since,
Tim. Lighten them up.
since we
Ryan's
spoke
Ryan's the one that got lightning, but doesn't get the apple tree one.
No, I was gonna say, since we spoke last, the only thing that's changed on my end of things is now that like going into a store without a mask on now feels very funny, actually. Like it's like not, I don't know how much my brain has shifted since this all started, but it seems very odd now that there's no more masks in stores. Some stores are keeping it, but it was weird
to see you hear someone cough and
Yeah.
they don't have a mask on.
Yeah.
You're going to lose your mind.
I suffer with allergies, so I'm like sneezing sometimes, especially right now. It's the worst because like all I'm trying to do is like hold back a cough, and it's like, please God.
Well, that's how I get to the front of the line real quick.
I swear to God, it's not COVID. Like double shot,
right,
we're
yeah.
good.
Yeah, it's like it's not COVID. Nope.
Well, I know, and
So-
Ken, you had a good couple of days since we last talked to you.
Yeah, pretty good. Shiba Swap is now live.
There you
we
are.
go. What is it without sheep?
had to bring it up.
Well,
You got to see the post on the Crypto Night in
I bought some
Canada
bones. So I
Facebook
have
page.
bones staking. I have my Shiba token staking, and then I have wrapped Ethereum with bone, providing liquidity at like 2,200%.
What?
That's pretty good.
It was at 49 this morning.
4,900 or 49%?
Yeah, 4,900.
Okay, well, Genster23 is saying the gas fees are crazy. Is that true?
They are. I took $2,000 and split it 1,000 wrapped ETH and 1,000 bone, and it cost me about $50 to get everything set up.
Oh, so where are you doing this? On which exchange are you doing this?
Shiba Swap.
Shiba
They have
Swap.
their own
Oh, right
exchange.
on the Shiba Swap.
Yeah.
And it's based off of Ethereum. Is that why the gas fees are so high?
Yeah, they're using, I don't know why they went with the Ethereum network, but that's what they chose to use. So it would have been nicer if they used Matic or something.
Do you know why maybe the BSC has done it with cheap fees and they can't? Because BSC is just an Ethereum clone, right? Or I'm not sure.
No, BSC's on its own. It's its own chain.
So I see. So Shiba is like a direct copy. Okay.
Yeah, it's an ERC20 token, and that goes on the Ethereum.
Right. So it works exactly. Okay.
Well, that's pretty exciting. And how's your theta?
It's standing still.
like everybody else's stuff?
Yeah.
It's a big surprise. So, Haas, we got into it a bit last week, just saying that, with the all the dump that's happening with not the dump, but the sideways actions and stuff like that, and just the stagnation in the market right now, the appealingness of farming. Are you right into staking, or are you farming?
Well, like a little bit of both, right? When you're looking at passive income, you're not gonna just do one or the other, right? Like there's a lot of things that you could do, but specifically in terms of cryptocurrency, I'm staking. Obviously, I have a number of things being staked, Polkadot and KSM, on the Polkadot and KSM networks through the Polkadot.js app. You can also stake easily in Kraken for some tokens. And then gaining interest on things like Celsius and everything else. But there is a decent amount of yield farming at this point, but not a lot. I'd probably say my HODL bag is still big. I haven't taken from my HODL bag to enter into DeFi positions. It's just strictly been like money that I've been adding week to week for the last couple of weeks. So it's a very small portion of my portfolio that I'm actually earning a yield on because, obviously I think that holding long term is going to outbeat any of the other strategies. I just kind of play around with that portion of my portfolio. So it's a bit of income. It's nice to see, a couple $100 here and there, just floating in through various exchanges that I can redeploy or some pull out and put in my auto bags. But right now everything's just trucking along. It hasn't really seen much of an impact other than the actual dollar amount that I'm making.
So I think I don't know whether I asked Tim Perry last week or not, but with what you have, and you can answer this to the degree you want to answer it, but at what point with what you have farmed do you, or what would be a trigger for you to go, well, I'm out of here and I'm putting it into, say, let's say a stable coin or something like that?
That's a hard one. And the reason why that's a hard one for me is I would say specifically I wouldn't trust a stable coin. I don't trust fiat currency in general. If anything, I would go gold. I would never like stick with a stable coin. But in a situation where maybe this is a better idea of, when would I decide to get out of a position? So for an example, I'm in a pair of BNB and Hot Cross, specifically because Hot Cross is a cross-chain decentralized exchange. It's going to have Polkadot and all the other decentralized ability to farm liquidity just on one spot. If I wanted to leave it, I'd probably just reorganize my DeFi portfolio because I move it very liquid. So it's not like I go into pairs because, these are two solid projects that I believe in for the next 5-10 years. But no. These are two things that are providing a really good APY that I can sit in for a couple weeks, make an extra yield, and then move on to the next project. So that's how I look at my DeFi. And that's very different than how I look at my holding bags.
So you're not farming and pairing and staying in one set strategy. You're constantly moving around, because it sounds like, from what I'm getting from farming, is that you can't just set and forget, because there's 30 days it comes up, there's times that expire, and you got to move it to make it, right?
There are some things that I set and forget. So, for example, on the PSwap network, I both stake in liquidity pools Zor and Val, and Zor and PSwap, and I haven't touched them. All I've done is add to them. So there are exceptions. There are definitely projects that I will just sit in. But that's mainly because I'm getting benefits for being one of the early providers on the system, helping the system grow. I'm super bullish on PokeSwap, where that's all going to go. So yeah, my money's going to stay there. But on things like Pancake Swap or DFIN or anything else, I'm moving money around as things change. And especially with DFIN, you have timed pools that you have to move out. But with like Pancake Swap, maybe I'm just adjusting APYs. Same thing with PokeSwap. But yeah, at this point, those are the tokens that I trust, and I just want to be involved in that system. So I guess it's a mixed answer there. It really just depends on the project and the DEX and the tokens.
So Neil, what are you doing? I know the last time we chatted, which was like 2 weeks ago, you were kind of rethinking, reorganizing, reshifting things around. What would be something you could share with maybe your strategy, or are you just holding still, holding tight, and just keeping ground zero?
I kept going with my DFIN and Root pairing, just because I really like the combo. I don't really care which one I have. Speaking of which, they just tweeted yesterday that they're going to be on a new listing, new exchange. And I think they said a big exchange. So that's pretty big news. I actually did go in just to be a little bit more protected. And I went in and I'm farming or providing liquidity in stable coins just to be a little bit safer. It's probably about 30% of what I had. And I basically, with Binance and all that, I actually just liquidated all my Kusama and DOT, got off of there, and jumped in completely decentralized. And I'm going to come back to them. I'm just trying to recover some of what I was doing. There was a DFIN with a stable coin that was a ridiculous, yield. So I put some in there. I'm just trying to get as much DFIN really as I can. And then I actually moved into ETH last 2 weeks ago. So I did a pairing with Matic because I feel like they're going to kind of run together. So if I end up with either, I have high hopes for both. So I did a little bit of repositioning, and I kind of went a little bit more conservative. I didn't go for such high yields, but I went with things that I'd like to have more of.
So you said you come back to it. Are you? So you're totally out of Binance now?
Yeah, right now. Yeah, but
so
I mean,
you're not going back in, are you?
Not right now.
It's not like he's going to have a choice after December.
That's right.
So
yeah.
Do we really think that that's going to stick?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. 100% that's going to stick. And that's because of the OSC. We only have our province and our regulations to blame. And sure, you have a little bit of Binance if you see, because there was an article that I just read. Binance, their regulation team or the legislation team just doubled over the last couple of weeks because of all the stuff that's been happening with them. So, yeah, some of it is negligence on their part. But at the same time, the problem is our government and regulators.
Yeah, Sean's putting up a whole bunch of stuff here. It's he's put in, I shifted my funds from Binance to Ascend, was going to put into Terra, but I think Polygon is still the higher yielding platform, smaller fees also.
Yeah, right now it is for sure. But we when all that happened with Binance, it was right before I went on vacation, and I didn't take my computer. I didn't want to take anything. And so I was just like, screw it, I'll come back to it. But I'm still watching Kusama and Dot. They're still at huge discounts from where they were.
I'm surprised, you sold, to be honest.
But you know what? It was just so easy for me. And, with the legislation and that, I'm tracking it. I sold at a loss. So it's like, whatever, I'll get it back in taxes. And I still have coins that I can use to make the bull run that I think is still coming profitable. So, I did liquidate there, but it was just I didn't have the time to get set up with, to move them off of Binance and all that. I just was like, I'm going to make this simple right now and pare down, because I'm really just trying to make it a little bit better, because I'm still learning. So, I do, Haas, have a lot of respect for how many coins you have, but looking back, it's like, how the hell do you track all that? Like, so that's why I kind of just went back and kind of pared down. But I'm pretty much 100% like decentralized now. I'm barely on any exchanges. Like, if anything, it just pushed me in that direction faster, because I used to love Binance, and now I was just like, well, Binance is okay. I don't love it that much that I care. So see ya.
Delge has a question. What's the best exchange to transfer from Binance? I think it really depends on the coin, doesn't it?
And what you want to do. Yeah, what you want to do with it too, right?
Now, here's the thing for me, and how I plan on navigating it. Like, it's going to change a lot of what I do, because Binance was the central hub. This is a big deal for me. It's going to change how I buy crypto. But at the same time, I have, Bitrue, I have Bittrex. There's so many other exchanges that I'm using right now, and I'm sure I'm going to pick one to be my central hub. Most likely it's going to be something like Kraken, but the token pairs isn't a lot, but it's enough to time you over.
Do you think this will bleed over to other provinces?
No, this is an OSC thing. So the Ontario Securities Commission. It's directly like Ontario. Like, if you guys remember how New York was really bad with their legislation, still are with crypto. It's a similar type deal.
Okay. I still don't have a Binance account.
Well, then, honestly, we're all going to have to come and use your address, Ryan.
Well, it's not that. You have to.
For sure.
I'm sure that anyone. Yeah, that's right. It's the ID. It's to know your customer, and that as soon as that ID.
Yeah, it's the KYC laws. Exactly right.
Why do you got to use the KYC?
So KYC is, here's the thing that people don't understand about KYC, because everyone's talking about it like it shouldn't be involved in crypto. KYC is a very important legislation. KYC and AML. I work directly with this at work. So AML is anti-money laundering, and KYC is know your customer. Mm-hmm. These are specific legislations to make sure that funding of terrorism isn't happening, or criminal enterprise, or if the money is coming from a criminal entity. So these are important legislations to have, right? They're important, and it's part of the law. But how it's being implemented with some exchanges is a bit draconian, and it's really hurting the space. So I think the government just needs to figure that out and help foster innovation instead of try to kill it, because it's not going to get killed.
So, Haas, are you keeping yours off on a cold wallet at all, or are you all on an exchange?
Yeah, so I would say a good portion is on cold wallets. Whatever is not on cold wallets is most likely being staked on a central exchange. So something like Kraken, something like KuCoin, for example. I have some on Celsius, BlockFi, Nexo, and then it goes on to maybe some of the decentralized stuff. So more decentralized exchanges. There's a number of different wallets that I use too, between cell phone wallets. The good thing about my portfolio is, if something happens and I get rug pulled on a specific platform, I have maybe like 30 other platforms that I have something on, maybe not a lot. I'd admit that like some platforms like Celsius holds a good amount of my portfolio, but it's not the amount that if I lose it, I'm dead broke, right? So, I would say it's good for contingency, and plus each individual project is usually giving me like the best APY that I could get for that token, right? So,
Interesting. So many things to think about and to do. All right. Well, how about Ryan? You had a question before we came live.
Yeah, so I know that Len helped us out last time with something, but I'm just curious for all of those viewing and listening, depending on where you guys are, and then for you guys here too, are you guys using something to track your average buy-in point?
Nope.
No? So is it all just like, because that's the biggest thing for me is not knowing my average price.
Yeah,
like realistically, paper. I just don't know it.
So line paper.
You can
go
back
and
look on
with
a pen.
And
I write
that's it. No,
I just calculate it each time. I do it manually.
Yeah, because that's about the only option. I know that.
I don't want anything online, right? Like I don't want a spreadsheet. I don't want that's the last thing I want to do. So it's just me being old school, but it keeps the old mind quick when I have to do math with my phone.
Okay, and there's some people answering. Oh, sorry, Haas, what were you saying?
I do have. So Carlos is saying CoinGecko. I used CoinGecko for a while. I think it's excellent because you can get everything on there. I really like it. I just prefer the mobile application. I use BlockFi, and the reason why I use BlockFi is because every time I make a transaction, I go in and I put in that transaction. That way, I can keep my dollar cost average, so it's easier for taxes. And if I sell, so I track all my buys and sells, so I can go back into BlockFi and get the estimates of which date those transactions happen, go to those exchanges, and track down that basic thing. Now, I'm not saying that it's the best process, but at least it's something. But it gives me my dollar cost average. So
I screwed up not writing any of my buy-ins down early on, so I'm totally out to lunch with my average price now.
What did you use to buy?
Estimate.
I was buying. I would send over. I mean, I could go. You know what? I probably could go dive deep on Shakepay. But if you download Shakepay's transaction reports and all that, and actually go and print that off, because I collect for my own thing here. I printed them off for my own purposes. Actually, they're not very user-friendly whatsoever when you print them off. Like trying to figure their dates, there's no separation. It looks like just a page of code. Like hopefully an accountant can deal with it. But that's, I mean, I guess I could go back to Shakepay, but not very user-friendly on their printouts.
Coin Tracker was what was what Len was talking about. And it's basically what you do is you enter your information in and you give an API key, and what it does is it goes in and grabs all that stuff. And I think, and Len, if you're still on, you can clarify this, but I think what it does is it sort of looks at your history and your transactions and says, okay, I guess it goes back to that date and says, here's what it was worth approximately when you bought it, and here's your plus minus on it when you cashed out or switched it or traded it or whatever the case is.
Yeah.
Jason's saying good luck finding an accountant on crypto.
Hey, maybe that's a good career move.
There'll be some.
I'm still waiting for Haas to be the
specialized
crypto advisor.
Maybe we'll see. That's a lot of hoops to jump for but maybe.
Yeah,
I've thought about it, to be honest, but we'll see.
Oh, there you go. Was watching. I wanted to talk a little bit about. We were talking about Ethereum just before we came online, and Haz, you were saying that there is a date now.
Yeah, so the EIP is supposed to drop on August 4th. So it depends on exactly when that block is mined. So August 4th is an estimate, but let's hope that there's no more delays and everything. But it looks pretty set in stone by how everything looks. To what I understand, everything's been voted on. So fingers crossed, around August 4th, we're going to have the 1559 update, which is going to lower fees. I just not prepare anyone to trade on that day for ETH. Like if you're buying it, just wait for it to pump on the 4th. I don't think that's going to work out for you. Oftentimes these things are baked into the price. But the big thing to remember there, that on the 4th, there's going to be some sort of volatility, whether up or down. It's not going to be a quiet launch. But don't expect it to go one way or the other. So, yeah.
Do you think there's going to be, because I'm just, stupid thoughts going through my head right now. Every trader has that opportunity that might come up. Do you think there's going to be that kind of Dogecoin style run up like there was with that Saturday Night Live thing? And I'm not even comparing the two coins or the events or whatever, but do you think there's going to be that little run up for spare cash plays kind of thing?
I mean, the possibility is always there. Like you can never tag it out, but I'd say that while everything's in the situation that it's in, I don't know if we're going to see like a dramatic pump of everything while Bitcoin is trading how it is. I mean, I could always be wrong. Like it's not like I'm not saying that that can never happen. But I'd probably say that's a little bit more unlikely. Like I think Ethereum's just going to go steady up from here. But that's going to bring a lot of tokens with it. And, Ethereum really drives a lot of the prices in the market. So, yeah.
Cool.
How apropos, Tim Perry comes on and Journey is on about H-bar. Tim Perry says it's not crypto night in Canada without Journey saying something about H-bar.
And
there you go.
That's a wrap, folks.
He loves it, man.
Journey's talking about H-bar. Tim Perry's going to be like, good, we're done.
You sent out the signal.
He sent out the signal.
Journey and I are always talking H-bar.
I smelled vapor and Shib and H-bar and Journey.
Oh, man. So how are you, Tim?
I'm doing really well. How's everybody?
Good. How's your trading been going?
Really good. Tim probably got my text message today. Yeah, man. It's funny because Neil kind of knows this because I was talking out loud with him today, and I totally miscalculated on for good though, like how much I maybe had in my portfolio or how much I had made through farming and like accumulated. I don't know, my numbers were wrong, but it was a pleasant surprise, and a few days ago, I don't know, a week ago, I jumped into a farm for root and define on Beefy Finance, in which I was getting 800%. And I made a very ballsy, calculated move to get out of most of my stables and just buy a lot of root and define to pair that up with. So I was making a lot into that. And then just because I'm getting ready to leave, I shifted it back into define because I feel more safer over there. And I just tallied up how much I'm making per day, and it's ungodly right now.
Nice.
That's amazing.
And obviously with the price of everything, like I bought root, like I started scaling back into root. I'm still scaling back into root. I'm still buying it. But I mean, it's up 40% in like the last 7 days. A lot of small caps. I don't know if, I wish we had like a mid crypto night because I was starting to I even put it on my Twitter. I was like, alts are starting to look good and small caps were looking good. So yeah, I placed my bets and I'm not far off of my all-time high for this year now for portfolio.
Nice.
Amazing.
Yeah, all thanks to farming and I don't know. I still got fresh powder. That's the crazy part.
That's excellent. And Rohit saying Omi had a good pump too.
Yeah, Rohit.
Yay.
Yeah, Omi's had probably the best pump of all the small caps.
It was huge. 40%, I think it was.
I know.
200%, no?
Yeah, well,
we just needed to keep going.
One day.
Yeah. I mean, sorry. It hit 1.2 like tenths of a penny, and it hit 4/10 the other day. It deserves it. Have we talked about the Marvel thing?
Not yet, but I've been watching all the different things they've been adding. But let's talk about the Marvel thing.
I mean, that's massive. I don't know though. And in all fairness, someone else has probably done a lot more research. I only know the surface level of this, but I don't know what they have in regards to licensing, because obviously with DC they only have like Harley Quinn, Batman. They only have a few things right now. Regardless, that's still awesome. So I'm not downplaying it. I'm just like, I don't know what they can license yet, because if they get like Thor, Hulk, all the big guys, oh my God, on top of what I still think will eventually be Pokemon.
Yep. I still think it is too.
Yep.
It's also important to note that Disney owns Marvel.
Oh, that's a great point.
If that's the case, it will at some point. That's why I really haven't. I know I should have sold and bought everything now, but I really do believe in it, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be like the first set's probably going to be the Avengers from Marvel.
That's
right?
a bold one. That's a bold one.
Right, and I think they're going to go big, but like it's maybe going to be the first ones, and then the second set of Avengers when the new movies come out. Like it's probably going to be large.
What else does Disney own?
Oh my God.
Star Wars. That'll be big too.
Yeah, but and then there's a lot of stuff, and they went after the really big players, right? So yeah, imagine you're chilling with Yoda.
I personally think they'll start small. It'll be like DC kind of thing, but who knows? Same with the NFL. They're with the NFL Players Association. Like, I think these companies are probably like getting their feet wet with it, which is not bad at all, but because it'll lead down to other things. But man, if they swung out with the Avengers, that'd be crazy. But I still think it's going to be, a couple B players. Maybe you get one, like you get Batman, so you get maybe, I don't know, Iron Man or Thor or someone. But either way, it's still awesome news. And like I was telling Rohit, this pump was deserving of for Omi, especially after the pummel it took for the last how many months. But whether or not we sustain it, I think right now small caps are going to lead, along with some DeFi notables. As you've noticed, I think Aave's up 40-50% on the 7-day. So you're seeing these things. I think I clearly came in when Haas was talking about EIP, whatever, coming in August. So my guess is there's going to be a lead up. I think we get a DeFi summer pump, put it that way. And I think it's going to, I think ETH is actually propping up Bitcoin right now, like for the most part. So yeah, I think we get, and the better, and if you notice, if anyone knows charts, Haas and Rye and stuff knows, like the Bollinger Bands are tightening on Bitcoin, like it's not doing the 30K to 40K anymore. We're doing like the 32 to 36. If anyone's been watching it lately, you don't even have to know charts or anything. The minute it hits 36 lately, violently rejected back down to about 32, 33, goes for it again. So I think we're going to wind up in there for a bit. But if we go north off that, like breaking that thing, plus what's going on, we should get a nice run.
Yeah, I would say that it is coiling up, but I would also say that I don't see it like making, when like it ends a coil up, it has to make a decisive decision whether it goes up or down. I don't see that happening anytime soon. In that being like, I don't think that decision is going to be made this month, possibly in August, and like maybe then, who knows.
Sorry, Haas, I should reiterate. I'm thinking that it doesn't break till probably fall.
Okay, yeah, that's probably a good estimate actually. I could see that. I could see us just trading in that zone until around there, and then we see like a re-engagement and definitely a huge DeFi boom in between it. And if you think before, DeFi already boomed during a bear market, so
it's 2018 all over again. If anyone was around for 2018, Bitcoin for about 6 months ranged in the 6,000 to 7,000 mark and got really tight for like 6 months, and that did allow in that bear market for a reasonable. If I was smart, I would have banked off it. I wasn't. But there was a decent run for some altcoins. Like I was in Ravencoin that did a 10x in that bear thing. So there's a good chance we could replay something similar to that. I don't know. But it seems like, Nancy, you said that I might have been right. Well, if this does turn out to be a decent pump, I was horribly wrong in a very right way, I guess. But it seems to be like we could get a decent run. But that was not the pain I was telling everyone to be ready for before we did it.
Well, I still watch a lot on Bitcoin, and I still love, like, Will Clemente does something on Anthony Pompliano's channel, and they're literally still talking about it's still being manipulated. Everybody's taking their positions. They're jockeying for position, and I think that's what's holding us back, really.
I mean, like Ryan and I have had that laugh. Like, it's manipulated both ways. So I'm definitely not denying that it's not being manipulated now and that. But I don't know if anyone's been following the news. But now it's like when I sign into MSN, I see good news again about Bitcoin and stuff, which makes me wonder, like, okay, are we gonna go north again for a bit? Like in market terms, I think Bitcoin doesn't move. But the article I just saw yesterday was, is ETH going to overtake Bitcoin because of the new? And then it described the new ETH coming out in August and stuff. So you even see that narrative for what we were just talking about, which is ETH propping up Bitcoin for the next few months and having a run.
Yeah. Sean saying Harmony One and Anchor Protocol announce a partnership. Do you guys know about this?
Harmony is solid. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I heard about this, but I haven't read into the news. I know one of my subscribers would probably be mad to hear me say that. Because there's a lot of people that like Harmony. It's a really, really good project.
Yeah, agreed.
Candace is saying she thinks Bitcoin may fall to 30K one more time before the big breakout. Yeah, you guys agree to this?
I'm break 42 above, and I start getting pretty bullish that we may actually go towards like 100K, more 48K for me.
You think 100K for Bitcoin?
I think it'll hit. I think it'll hit north of that.
Not per se this year.
Eventually.
So just remember, keep this in mind, and especially I think this is what Tim's saying. This year, 2021, doesn't have a lot of days left in it, right? We are going into a 2022 bull cycle. Like this bull market's not going to be done from here. We're going to trade level at a certain point where we're going to re-engage in the fall and most likely be back on track and in a bull market in 2022. That's a very likely scenario. And then even ending it by the end of 2022, we might not even see this thing end until 2023, right? Or close to it. So that's my prediction, at least, because if you look at it, each cycle should theoretically be longer than the last, right? So really it only makes sense.
Some shenanigans going up in the top left here.
It's our screen's frozen. It's hilarious, but you should see what
you should see what
we're seeing. Sorry guys, I gotta do this because it's freaking hilarious.
So
it looks like Tim Perry is scratching a record doing and Ryan is
keeping the
nodding
beat
back and forth in his little rocking chair here. Looks like he just. Well, I'm not going to go there. And Nancy, I have no idea what the hell Nancy's doing.
In mine, I just keep going over in the video, drinking water. We don't know why it's doing this, but Tim's videotaping it, so he'll send it to you all.
And just so like everyone doesn't, because I'm not exactly bullish yet. I'm very neutral kind of right now on the long term. If we break below 28K, I'll probably be all out in stables and waiting for a further drop down to low 20s and stuff like that. So it's right now we're in that. And that's what happened in 2018. You did a really small, the Bollinger Bands tightened, everything kind of coiled up. Bitcoin just sat there for 6 months and then dropped hard. And like Haas said, and he's right, usually when that happens, you get a big move one way or the other, and it dropped 50% 2018. So we'll see. But for now, I think Bitcoin, as it coils and just chills in that thing, it's going to let alts run. So, which is why I'm basically back all in.
Nice.
I have no idea what's going on with this. We're stuck in a loop on the video.
Keep in mind for me too, like I add money into alts, and like right now I'm adding money into DeFi basically anytime. Like I'll add a little bit of my HODL bags, but I'm also like DCAing small amounts of Bitcoin. Because I'm looking at the long term, and anytime Bitcoin is under like the 50-week moving average, yeah, that's the time to buy because you really can't go wrong. So is Bitcoin, is ETH all a buy at this price? Maybe not ETH because it's not really under its 50-week, but Bitcoin is a definite buy, even regardless, like small amounts. I'm talking about retirement, right? So.
Yeah, I respect obviously your ways because you're definitely know what you're doing, Haas. I look at it a little differently. I'm in it for like as much fast cash as I can. So it's farming and I'm playing that root DeFi right now because the fall is coming and that's when their cross chain is going to open up. Root's mainnet is any day now, which will do cross chain aggregation and liquidity, stuff like that. So yeah, I'm making a very, don't do as I say, not as I do on this one, but I'm getting ballsy with those two.
I'm thinking on my end, I'm probably taking the complete opposite approach as everybody here, and I'm scaling back my crypto holdings probably pretty significantly. Yeah, we can see you guys, by the way. We can totally see you guys. It looks normal to us, if you're wondering. It looks totally normal. Well, it looks totally normal to us.
Yeah, we can hear you.
And see you.
Oh, man,
Yeah.
it's totally green here, man. I have no idea. What did you touch? It's quit messing with buttons.
So are you getting out? You're looking to get completely out, or
no, heck no. I just don't want my. So I'm more into the market than I am into the crypto market, and maybe that's where I don't know. I differ from a lot of you guys, but like I don't want crypto to represent such a high portion of all of my money invested right now. So what I'll be doing is I'm not going to just like convert it to fiat and go spend my money. Like I'll be probably just reallocating once I hit a certain number on a, like for instance, once ETH hits a certain number, whatever, I'm going to be reallocating into my RRSP for future home purchase and yada, 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 all this kind of stuff. But there's a part of me too that also is just thinking like, just let it sit and then just pump up the other accounts like crazy to bring me at like the ratios on track. But I don't know. All I know is that I don't like having, for instance, I think I'm 56% in crypto right now, which I don't like, for me at least. So it doesn't match my style. So I'll figure out what I'm going to be doing, but I don't want to sell. So I really just want to pump up the other side, but we'll see. We shall see. I'm going to just bring those ratios in line though.
I'm trying to convince my wife to let me stop contributing to the pension at work so I can start scaling into Bitcoin. Like she's
I would love to
all.
sell my work RRSP and go into crypto, but hey, I'm going to use the work RRSP for first home. So,
but I've already got like time, right? I have something from my previous job and the locked in. I've got the pension that I'm contributing, and I do get actually like an extra for every dollar I put in, they put in $1.25. So it is a good deal, but I'm starting to look to try and diversify more because, the only thing I really want is property. Like that's my ultimate goal with any, holdings is to get, future houses, land, things like that. Like that's my goal. That's my gold.
Nice.
You can have your stack of gold, and I'll have
I'm probably dating a lot of us here, but what was it, Superman, when Lex Luthor's like about the land comment? I can't remember what it went. He's like, you can never have too much land. Everything else goes away, but you can never have too much land, and that's why like the whole first movie is him trying to score a big piece of land off of holding the world for ransom. Every time I hear land now, I hear Lex Luthor. Someone asked some questions here. What we got? Soraya, what are you in? So obviously I'm in heavily now. My two top ones are Define and Root. I'm also scaling more into Quick Swap as well. So I'm basically like hitting all the smaller caps because I think small caps are starting to have their day for a bit right now. I can't guarantee that's going to last for long, but that's what I'm playing for now. Matic is another one that I'm in, and that's pretty much it. Oh, and thanks to Neil Luna, I got a little piece of the Luna Define pool today in Define.
Luna did a bit of a pump there not too long ago, didn't it?
I know. It just even today. It's still. I was really sad that I got in, but I only did a little bit, and I've still got fresh powder because I probably will go more heavily into Luna if it drops a bit. But I don't know. I feel like some of these ones that are already pumping are just going to keep going for a bit. I don't know. Who knows?
Well, if we're going to be entering an alt run, that makes sense, right?
For sure. Yeah, it's just nuts because like some of them aren't like giving you any chance to get back in. Because I was even eyeing Omi at like 2 something, and then I woke up the next day and it was 3 something, and then I was just like, I'm not following it now.
I was actually looking at when I liquidated my Kusama and Dot. I almost went in and did just a giant jump at just under 2/10 of a penny
With Omi.
Yeah, but I didn't. I was like, no, I'm going and I'm going to do stables and I'm going to be conservative because I'm down.
Well, we all have post-traumatic stress disorder, right? We're all like freaked out, and we know. And now we've seen Omi get pummeled. We've seen all these like small caps get pummeled. So obviously, we rightfully are afraid because that was my concern with Omi. But I kept like, and I had like the devil on the one side and the angel, right? I got like the devil being like, Marvel, you know, and Angel's going, do you not remember how bad that things are getting pummeled? And it just kept going back and forth.
This is why I think of my DeFi portfolio, my hodl bags completely different, because I made 0 moves in my holding bags, like absolutely nothing. The only thing that moved was my DeFi portfolio. But again, I moved that like nothing. I don't even worry about it. I hop from farm to farm, just get the high APYs, as long as the project is not a rug pull, right? I do my initial research there. Like Root DeFi, I'm in the DeFi and ETH pair because it's still like 200%. Like, I mean, that's still pretty good. So I'm spread out among a bunch of farms, but I'm constantly bouncing around, right? So
Panda's saying the trap is over. Time for the dump.
I mean, he may be right. Everything's interpreted. Everything's perception. Nobody's, you know,
he is a financial advisor after all.
Panda does like to like non-conform to what we talk about. I feel like.
Yeah.
I still think, like I said, I told you I'm neutral. We could, if we break 28K below, expect further. If we break 42, probably expect a little higher for a bit. But yeah, I don't see the 100. We won't break all-time high this year, and I also don't think we're going to super lows this year. This will be like a late fall move before we see anything, in my opinion. I mean, Panda could be right too. You can't say he's wrong.
Sorry, in your opinion, you think that the super highs will be in the fall?
No. We are not I don't think personally, and once again, it's not financial. Like, we are not breaking 42K probably or 28K till at least the fall. And if we do, that doesn't mean we're going much further either way during the fall. I think the spring will bring next year. If it breaks, you know, we could go low 20s. High teens for Bitcoin if we go low, or we could touch all-time high again and then get rejected, chill around a bit, and then go back up to 100 next year. But that's my long-term like chart analysis on that. Yeah, I checked out Luna thanks to Neil, and I'm definitely thinking Luna is a solid coin. But right now, I just feel like I'm going for that risk reward, and I'm going for the risk right now, and DeFi and Root have just been banging out. You know, exchanges are coming. They're quickly coming out with the cross chain, which is how talented does the team come across to me. I'm starting to see a lot of big influencers on Twitter talking about that this is going to be 100x, and usually when they're doing that, you know that they're going to have some skin in the game. So I'm just going for it. YOLO.
Yeah.
I'm trying to focus on coins with like that I can, you know, get extra coins from. So that's why Luna, I've been eyeing Luna for a bit, but just I've been sitting back on it. But those are the coins I'm looking for now, and I think for the future is just ones that I can continue to provide liquidity and earn more. Like it just seems it's such a simple strategy, but I think it's a good way for me to learn and start to learn more with the market while also accumulating more coins. I might have to change my name to, you know, coin farmer.
You almost said corn.
Blackout
With a husky voice.
I got some good photos from back in the day. So
yeah. So Redbeard saying he can't wait for Ken to break down Shiba Swap.
Yeah, not tonight.
Oh man, a keto lion just came in the house. How you doing? Anyways, well, this has really been fun. Anybody else got any predictions or things that they think is going to happen? Do we think that Elon Musk has finished tweeting about Bitcoin?
Elon Musk tweets similarly to how a former U.S. official tweets, and that's all I'm going to say on that one. So no, the answer is absolutely goddamn not. Elon Musk will tweet whatever the hell he wants to tweet.
I actually
Some
haven't
people
heard
love him and
anything
some
much
people
lately,
don't.
though. Has he been pumping stuff lately?
Yeah,
Like aside from that
he's
stupid
Baby
baby
Doge.
Doge
Shit
thing?
posting,
Yeah, he
man.
was
Yeah,
talking
he's
about
so shit
Shiba.
posts.
He was
Doge.
saying he's going to name.
I think now we're just becoming more desensitized to it, and it's not hitting the news as much. Thank God. So
Well,
eventually, you know,
if you say the same joke 50 times over, everything gets old, right?
Yeah,
So you
yeah,
have to
exactly.
choose your spots, and Elon's just wasting all his spots. If he was planning on continuing to manipulate the market, he's wasting it.
Well, and Candace has made a good point. She's saying Elon is really no longer affecting the market.
Yeah,
I mean,
I agree with that. Yeah.
It's very low volume right now. Like if anyone's trading or following stuff, like everything's low volume. There's very little Bitcoin and ETH on exchanges right now. So, I mean, the whole narrative really puts you on your edge of your seat on which way we're going to go. But
Yeah.
I still feel like it's going to 2018 us in the sense you're going to be sitting here on the edge of your seat waiting for this move, and it's going to prolong it for months. And all the while you're going to be sitting there on the sidelines. And that's why I got back in. And thankfully I did. But you're watching on the sidelines as OMI and all these things start creeping up, you know?
Yeah.
Because
No,
Few things,
agreed.
There's one thing I wanted to talk about, though, is Decentraland's actually hosting a concert this weekend on the blockchain. So, it's, runs on Ethereum blockchain, but it's just really interesting. The more I get into Decentraland, the more I'm interested in it.
Man,
Like they're trying to do something because all these festivals have been canceled, right? Like locally, they're still having a couple here, but they usually have 8 to 10, and they're only having 3 this year. So it's just really interesting to see that you could go into this virtual land and attend a concert, and there's just tons of stuff coming out with Decentraland. So it's really, I'm starting to watch that a lot more. And I got another notification that I'm moving up the list for a BlockFi Bitcoin rewards credit card. I don't know if I'll be able to get one because I'm in Canada, but I'm just like, they're starting to notify people, which is super cool that you could earn rewards in Bitcoin. And
They keep saying that they have no timeline for Canadians or Europeans or anything like that. So I'm not holding my breath for BlockFi.
But I just think it's exciting. Like that's legit stuff that's coming in. And I had someone at work who it was a younger guy, and he has family down in Florida, so they go down and visit. And there was a promotion at the dealership when they were down. His uncle was telling them that they could use cryptocurrency, and they named off 4 different cryptocurrencies you could use to buy the car. So like that stuff is super positive, and I think the more the governments go after Binance and exchanges and that, the better it is for us because it's bringing more attention to the space, and a lot of this stuff is probably going to get sorted out because all this unknown is happening. So I'm just excited with. Like I watch F1. I'm a huge F1 fan. There's like 4 different teams that have sponsors. And last week at the race, the main title sponsor was Crypto.com.
Well, UFC too, just yesterday.
Yeah, they just picked up UFC.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's everywhere, and I'm really happy. Not in the sense that the dump happened, but I had this huge thing that I missed everything, and now I'm like, I'm still early.
Yeah,
and that to me is super exciting.
You're literally 1996, like of the internet, like
exactly. That's what people don't understand.
What in the hell is the internet?
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly where we are. What the hell is cryptocurrency?
But you just rhymed off all this news that I'm seeing, right? The UFC was another thing that I saw in the mainstream news. So all of a sudden I'm seeing positive things in the news again. All of a sudden everything's kicking the narrative. So that alone, like I'm starting to sense those kind of things, right? It's like Rohit the other day asked me how do I find trends? And like trends, one of the easiest to find because with NFTs there, all I heard about was NFTs for a while. And then the minute, of course, I got in OMI, I stopped seeing any NFTs talking about on my Twitter and stuff. So I knew to get out. It's very easy sometimes to smell the trends.
No, that's awesome. Hey, Sean has a question for you guys.
Yeah, I mean, put it this way: Matic, I think it's about 4 billion total circulation. If you've got something like XRP Ripple with 65 billion and it can run into the dollars, no problem. Do not worry about a 4 billion circulation total with the supply and the price for Matic. You could fill the whole circulation up and it's still got $10 written on it long term for sure. And I still think 25 to 30 by 2025 at least.
For Matic?
Easily.
Wow.
I mean, Matic right now is the #1 transactions next to Bitcoin. It's making more, money in TVL. Decentraland has moved most of their stuff over because it costs pennies on the dollar to buy, your land and do NFTs or whatever you're doing with all these things. How could you not? All the good farming, I obviously was able to catch a little bit of the show because I couldn't jump on right away. I mean, I heard Vapor talking about Shiba and doing $50 to do all your stuff. That would have been 9 cents on Polygon. So tell me how that isn't worth 10 times. And you look at anything else right now, Binance right now, where they're valued at, all those things. Polygon's dominating all them, and it's still 1/10 of the market cap. Now maybe everything's overpriced, but if everything's priced in right now, then Polygon deserves to be up there. It's same with QuickSwap right now. QuickSwap is just dominating most swaps right now, and it's highly undervalued compared to Uniswap, 1inch, all that stuff. And it's actually been making quite gains because I've been scaling back into that. I scaled back into that at about 400 the other day, and it's already at 550. A lot of the small caps people don't realize, and that's the thing, the small caps are sneaky. You don't see them coming, and they're all going up, and people are making money, and everyone else is still complaining that the market's not moving.
Yeah. Panda's got a question for everybody. Where's everybody from?
Good old London, Ontario.
Calgary. And everyone here is pretty much from Ontario, bro. And Panda, he's from Ontario too.
Little town called Lowville, Ontario.
Sarnia.
Kitchener. And Tim Perry's down in southern Burlington.
I think I'll be joining HiRye soon, though.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay, so I was just about to say this. I wanted to say it at the beginning, too. I was super jealous leaving Alberta as the mask mandates were lifted and everything else. Coming back to Ontario was just a shock to me. I actually couldn't believe it. It's
next
unreal.
Level.
I couldn't even imagine you have to sit outside for restaurants. Like, it was at that level of unreal. Things are closed at crazy times. I think right now the governments really need to find a better way to deal with COVID through lockdowns, because if it's so easy to lock down for a virus, how easy is it going to be for a natural disaster? So we need to really stay away from these lockdowns as much as possible.
Well,
so now
we've already given them the complacent go ahead, because they were just talking about that maybe down the line they'll do lockdowns for climate change.
Exactly. No, none of that. None of that. Get the hell out of here.
Well, then us Canadians finally have to grow a pair, because I hate saying this, but Canada through this has disappointed me highly in our complacency and not speaking up. The Florida governor even spoke up. He said something and he reamed Ontario, and we deserved it. He's like, we opened up and da-da-da-da-da. Had we not, most of the states would still be like Ontario, Canada. So true.
And that's the thing. It's only Ontario. I wouldn't be complaining like this. I wouldn't be like this if it was like other areas in the world, right? No. It's literally only Ontario. It's either Doug Ford is completely in the pocket of somebody, or there's something else malicious going on back here. It's not.
It's both.
Yeah. This is not a lockdown based in science. This is a lockdown to hurt the economy.
It's an experiment in tyranny, right?
Completely.
And obviously, Nancy, just like you said, she's been beating that horn. Just the other day, I saw a whole thing about supply chains and inflation, all this shit. And Ontario's getting just a beat down. So no, I'm a libertarian, and I love Ontario. I love its beauty. I've actually lived out west before. I liked it, but like I actually liked Ontario more. But due to my ideology and how I live, I can't do this no more.
Well, and you know what? The government, this supply chain thing is so awful. I was in some team meetings today. I was in a 3-hour meeting, and we were talking with all the other directors across Canada, and we got going on about the mess we're in. We are in a freaking mess, and we can't seem to get out of it. And we are doing better than a lot of the other distribution channels. And if people only knew, like with the CERB still on, and again, this is not a political conversation. I need to stress this because every government's doing it across the board, across all nations, all over the place. But this is really hampering our ability to get back to business as usual. Because if you don't have people in manufacturing facilities working and manufacturing things, it's going to throw off our ability to distribute things, right? And then if we don't have anybody in the warehouse to receive it, and then we don't have anybody in the warehouse to put it away, and then we don't have people to pick it to put it on trucks, and then the trucks, it just goes on and on and on. And then it gets into restaurants where they don't have enough staff in there to manage through all that stuff. I mean, it's just a mess. And we keep talking about when do we anticipate getting out of this? But unless they just stop the madness now. The science said that if we got people vaccinated, I'm going to get off the high horse. Tim's looking at me, but if we get people vaccinated, double vaccinated, then the science said we should be able to get back to normal. Why are we still in lockdown?
That was before this Delta strain, though.
There's going to be another
even then. There's going to be other strains. We cannot lock down for this. No. We cannot lock down for natural disasters. They cannot impede our movements. That cannot happen. That cannot be allowed. I don't care under what circumstance. Well, then that's when the Canadian people need to stand the hell up. Exactly. And I'm not talking about anything extreme. I love Alberta. Like, I'm probably more like on the left side than most people actually know. But just know that this is a bipartisan issue in terms of stop locking down the goddamn province. That's all it comes down to.
I think there's ulterior motive somewhere.
There is. It's money.
Like is money and robots, in the warehouses. You don't got people working in the warehouses, they'll bring in the robots, just like the Amazon warehouses.
Right.
If you going that way, it makes sense.
Or is it the fact that we are keeping shut down so that we maximize what we get from the federal government so it doesn't go out of the provincial pocket?
Like, I'm literally listening to sometimes speaking to my mom and dad the other day, and my dad's all jacked because he found an underground hairdresser who's going to come to the house low key. And I'm like, dude.
Do you know the underground hairdresser?
I make jokes that I had to drive 3,400 kilometers just to get a haircut.
Okay, I honestly have to laugh, though. Haircuts aren't that cool. They kind of suck. Someone's in your face. Who gives a shit? I don't care about my hair. I'm just glad I have some. Like, I don't understand why all these
try that when your hair like goes up here and like hangs around and you got to make a video. No, I need a haircut, man.
Sorry,
that's such a male thing to say. That's such a male thing to say.
Listen, underground hairdressers only deal with the roots. Barbers deal with hair.
Do you guys want to hear about a funny story? So one guy ordered an underground barber in Toronto, and he came dressed as a pizza boy. But if you know Toronto, a lot of those apartment buildings have security, so he had to get checked in with security and be like, "Oh, hey, my wallet's upstairs. You gotta come up." So he's up there for like however long it takes to make a haircut. Like, he's obviously not selling a pizza. What are they doing up there, right? So, there's that funny little story for you guys.
There's that great meme. There's a great meme
about he's not manscaping.
Well, there's a great meme of a hooker, and she's like in the car, and she's like, "What can I do for you?" And the guy's like, "Do you do haircuts?" Because I'm not gonna lie, it got to that for me. I was like, literally, I looked on Kijiji, and I'm not gonna lie, a lot of them looked like they didn't have massages, except they had like segue. They're like, "I do haircuts, massages," like they did everything.
At the same time.
Yeah. Oh man!
One-stop shop. There you go.
My hair's gonna look like this.
Okay, but speaking of all of this, I have a serious question. I watched one of my YouTube University people, and I think it was Daniela Camboni from Stansbury Research, and she had a guy on. I did not care for his opinion, but I sat through the thing because I keep reminding myself of what Ryan Hemsley says, is you got to listen to the people that you don't even like because you want to see their side of the coin too. But he made a good point. He goes, it is quite possible that we could live through a Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome kind of situation. And if that was the case, maybe we need to have a treasure chest like Ryan, and it's filled with some our candlesticks, silver candlesticks, and various things like that. Because what if we can't get access to our digital currency?
Well, that's why you should never be fully
ledgers. You should have contingency plans. There's more than other ways to access your cryptocurrency. But to go on, because I have physical gold, I have physical silver. I'm not a collector in any way. I don't buy them for the numismatic value, I think is the word. I buy them just in case, and it's not a lot. It's just, hey, you never know what's going to happen. I have my old silver necklaces tucked away in a box, right? There's stuff that has value that you should have. But that goes with the same with cryptocurrency. I have a couple of ledgers hidden away in a couple of different locations in case of house fire at one of the places that a ledger is sitting at. It's not all in the same place, but at the same time, a good portion of my portfolio is also in other services. But having things tucked away is never a bad idea. It's like having water in your cupboard or in your pantry. If COVID has taught anyone anything, is you should be prepared, and anything can
with
happen.
Some toilet paper, which could be
some
valuable.
Toilet paper, apparently. I buy one of those big packages from Costco, and it lasts me a year. So I don't know what you guys are eating with all your toilet paper.
That's too much information there, Haas.
But there's only one of you, for crying out loud.
Honestly,
that's true. I mean, that's true.
How dumb North America was, that they were more interested in getting toilet paper than water when all that happened. I think it just showed how dumb we were as a continent, that was the biggest thing, that we needed to wipe our butts. It's no, you need water.
Yeah.
Okay, I
always come through the tap, right?
I actually have a bit of a story. I heard through supply chain how the toilet paper thing got out of control.
Yeah, because one person sneezed and everyone else shit themselves.
No, oh my God, Tim Danter, you are so bad. No, no, that is not it. So here, what I heard was that when things first locked down in Wuhan, there was people there communicating to family and loved ones and whatnot away from there. So whether that was in North America, wherever, they said everything is going okay. Just make sure that you stock up on toilet paper. And you want to know why? Was because when they locked the city down, they had shipments of supplies being trucked in, and the frickin' whichever manufacturer manufactures the toilet tissue over there missed getting through. Though that whole trucking missed the deadline for getting through to that city, so they were shorting on toilet paper. But there was actually never any shortage of toilet paper. That was actually never a thing.
It's the reason the big thing that inspired that is because at a time China had run out briefly of toilet paper, and it just sparked this panic, and everyone was like, "Oh no, it's gonna happen!" And our supply chain hurt. But there's bigger issues with our supply chain. How much food we threw out because we couldn't get it across the country. Yeah. Those were issues. That was a huge issue. How much food was wasted in 2020 and 2021? An unreal amount. So,
I will tell you this. We donated millions upon millions upon millions of dollars to the food banks, and the food banks had to stop taking our food
because they were overloaded and they couldn't get it in the hands of the people fast enough. So you're right, Hawes. Millions of dollars of food was dumped and wasted. I mean, I could go on. I
personally think, and this is outside of crypto, so I'm sorry to take it away, but it sounds like we're outside of crypto anyway. I personally think within at least my lifetime, we are going to go through some sort of extreme hunger, famine type event. I truly think after everything that we've gone through, health crisis, we're going to go through global weather crisis is next. I think next up past that is going to be hunger to a pretty extreme degree. I think there's
some kind of parasite that'll devastate our vegetation or something.
Yeah, it destroy an entire crop. We might see something as significant as like corn, for example, like completely extinct or something. Like who knows? Interstellar might be a real thing, right? I'm not saying we need to leave this planet. I'm saying there are ways to not shit on our home, right? So
it's so true.
That's all I'm saying.
Well, I think Elon Musk has some kind of a way for you to leave this planet.
Yeah, hey, listen, I've already said that I'd rather die on Mars than die on Earth anyway. So if I can get a ticket, I could give a hell what Earth is doing. I'm going there. So
see, maybe we just fix the Earth that we're on instead of going.
Oh no! I agree. I totally agree. I totally agree. But I would much rather die out there. Like, wouldn't it be cool to die on Mars? Like, come on, man! If you're gonna die anyway.
Problem is, I don't think fundamentally without water, I think we're screwed.
Yeah. Like, hey, I lived for 4 or 5 years, die a hero. It's all good. I still have the first Martian pizza place. It's all good.
Acknowledge that fundamental element that we all need and basically are made of. That is gonna be a huge problem when you get up to Mars.
Yeah, and you can't recycle it. Although I think there was a Kevin Costner movie once where. All the water. What was it? Waterworld?
Waterworld, yeah.
Biggest bomb I think of all time.
Oh. I think he drank water that he went to the bathroom and it went through a tube and then he re-drank the same water. It's the only thing I remember. And he had fish gills.
You can do distillation of salt water and stuff and if you're survival mode and stuff, there's ways.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I don't know. Anyways, this has been a lot of fun. Any closing remarks for anybody?
This is my last show, guys.
Is it really?
Oh, I don't know, for at least a few months.
Oh, where are you going? What are you doing?
A few months?
As Nancy likes to call it, she used to work with me. She used to say, I used to always quit my job and be back in a few months. She calls it a walkabout, so.
Yeah. No, he goes on his walkabout, and then I always say to him, okay, so I'll put you back on the schedule in... No. Well, you know what? I hope you have fun. I hope it's fruitful, and I hope it brings you everything that you're looking for it to bring you this time.
I'm just taking I got a little Wi-Fi stick with enough data to do my farming. That's it.
Well,
that's what I want to hear, buddy. That's what I want to hear.
No, I had to. Well, you know what I texted you today.
I do. Yes.
How can I walk away from that?
No.
What do? Do you go off grid or something? Like what
I'm basically going to be no running water. Yeah.
Wow. That I'm super impressed with that. I've always wanted to do something like that.
An outhouse. Yeah.
Yeah,
maybe Neil will come up and visit for a couple of days if you can hack it. We'll talk crypto.
Try.
About 3 hours north in Quebec from Ottawa.
No way. That's really cool.
And, it's a cool little it's 20 minutes tucked in. It's the last cabin too of the dirt road. It's 20 minutes all the way in.
Hey, if you want visitors, you have my email, man. Absolutely.
Yeah, no, totally, man. You should jump in with Neil then. That'll be a good crypto talk.
Yeah, that would be really cool.
Well, I think that's amazing. You are wonderful, and we'll keep the home fires burning, and we'll wait for you to return, and we'll hear all your crazy stories.
Hopefully, I can watch you guys.
Oh man,
I get unlimited data on this, so maybe. But this thing thinks I'm in the U.S. sometimes up there, which is the weirdest thing.
That is weird.
But I was hoping that I do have. Maybe I could chime in on a couple comments. But yeah, no.
Oh, that's amazing. Well, thank you so much, everybody. Haas, thanks again for your time. And everybody, Haas Hodls is Haas's YouTube channel. You got some new videos coming out this week?
Yeah, got a few coming. Today was just general news, and then we're going to be talking about Polkadex, which is another Polkadot decentralized exchange. But the exciting part about it is it's an order book exchange. So a lot of cool things happening this week, and there's a lot of big things happening in the channel for the next couple of weeks. So just stay tuned.
That's awesome. And Mr. Ryan Hemsley, you got anything cool happening this week?
I am still finishing up that that new little advancement that I got going on with another side hustle. So I'm working pretty hard on that right now, and I'm hoping to finish it up this week. So I will think next week for sure, but let's see. I'm just finding it difficult, like this whole remote job thing or whatever. It seems to be ridiculous getting back, doing this, that, and everything else. It takes so much time. It's kind of a pain in the butt. But next week for sure. Hopefully this week, though. But we'll see.
Well, that's good. And we'll definitely see you on Sunday night for the show about everything and nothing.
Yes.
The crypto show about everything and nothing. We had a question, Haas. You doing your live on Saturday at 11 this week?
Every Saturday, 11 a.m., Coffee and Crypto. I will be there.
Excellent. And Neil, hope we can see you next week.
Yeah, I'm hoping to set up a new place to start streaming. So I'm fixing my garage.
Excellent.
Yeah, I'm getting some work done. So I had a little fire last year in June, so it's brand new.
Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness!
I'm hoping to have that set up in the next month if I can. I'm getting some spray foam insulation. I'm going all out. It's going to turn into my lair because I have too many children.
Oh well.
Yeah. In other words, you overdid it again, and that's the doghouse.
Well, not when I'm done with it.
It's the Doge house. It's the Doge house.
The only thing I have to share it with is my van.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Oh man. And Ken, we'll see you this time next week.
Yes, ma'am.
Excellent. Well, hopefully we'll hear a little bit more about your Shiba Swap. Anyways,
from all of us on the channel here and on the guest panel here, Tim, stay safe.
Thanks.
Tim, don't forget Chili's.
Chili's. Anyways, good night.
Ryan, wait for it to go blank. Oh my God, it's not ending. What's